AirAsia was established in November 1993 and commenced its operation on 18 November 1996. AirAsia leadership was Yang Berbahagia Datuk Hamin as Chairman and Director, Tony Fernandez as Chief Executive Officer and Datuk Kamarudin as Director. Datuk Kamarudin and Tan Sri Tony Fernandez was a co-founder of AirAsia and they acquired struggling domestic airline AirAsia in December 2001. Fernandez was born on 30 April 1964 in Kuala Lumpur and his father was originally from Chennai, India, and he have a Christian mother of mixed Portuguese and Malacca descent. Fernandez studied at UK, which is at St. College, and graduated at London School of Economics on 1987. He also the youngest CEO to lead the Warner Music before deciding to set up Tune Air and venture into airline business. Meanwhile, Datuk Kamarudin is the co-founder of AirAsia together with his partner Tony Fernandez. He rebuilding AirAsia into the world-best career. He graduated as Diploma in Actuarial Science from University Technology Mara and BSc with distinction majoring in Finance in 1987 from Central Michigan University. Tony Fernandez was very motivation leadership, which his attitude was accessible to the media, was entirely committed to his business. He tried to gain power and influence others to accomplish goals that benefit the team or organization. He had become a good role model and influence leader for his employee willing to follow him to accomplish the goal. Fernandez had reinvited and remodeled AirAsia based on highly successful Irish budget airline Ryanair. It targeted millions of Asians who had never flown and wanted inexpensive basic transporting and fitting well with slogan "Everyone can fly" as a low-cost carrier. Asia also successful improved cost-cutting measure to make everyone's dream come true. Asia have their own virtual to make their service always in the best in the world.
My name is Muhammad Hamin bin Suhatri. My matrix number is 056177. So my part is the 10 ideal characteristic of a leader based on Islamic perspective. The first characteristic that a leader must have is patience. A leader should be patient in leading their company and subordinates to achieve the goals of the organizations. Second one, a leader must be a trustworthy person. It is their responsibility to guide and maintain a good relationship with their subordinates to achieve the goals together. Okay. The third one, a leader must recognize and respect the dignity of labor. Every leader should appreciate the hard work and determination of their subordinates in order to make them feel better when they achieve the goals together. Next, a leader should put all their dependence on Allah. They should not feel any regrets after making any decisions when they put all their trust in Allah's plan. Other than that, a leader should consult and exchange any opinions on any matters arises with their subordinates to avoid any bad relationship or misunderstanding between them. Next, a leader should have knowledge on Islamic teaching such as Sharia and Fiqh in order to be acknowledged as an ideal Islamic leader. Humility also is an important quality of a leader. They should abandon all their selfishness and pride in them to be a great and ideal leader. Next, a leader should be sincere to lead the company and their fellow subordinates in order to gain trust in them as well as achieving the objective and goals together. Other than that, a leader should treat their subordinates fairly and justly as a justice to avoid any discrimination regarding their race, gender, religion or skin color. Last but not least, a leader must have accountability in them. They should be responsible on everything he does and his subordinate does to be an ideal leader.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Haikal bin Lokman and my matric number is 055888. And my part is about a real case study from the company's annual report under the Bursa Malaysia. And my team picked AirAsia as a company under the Bursa Malaysia. Leadership in organization is a very important trend, as a leader have a large amount of responsibility to lead the direction and build good organizational culture. Tony Fernandez is a leader of the Asia. So some of the characteristic leadership that they have is focus on the team. Inspirational leader know that for them to be successful, so they need to have a right people in the place. So that will have positive knock-on effect on the whole company. Okay, we go to the next characteristic that Tony have. The other characteristic leadership that Tony have is about the client. For Tony, the client are everything. Business in the service industry is nothing without client. And the top performing companies go out of their way to keep their customer expectation. The other Asia leadership characteristic is about safety is always first. During on the COVID-19 pandemic in this year is 2020, Asia commit to gas safety with COVID-19 protocol. Asia is a forefront of navigation, the new normal of aviation, as it's developed a standard of safety with the government. In the presentation, Asia proposed the safety guideline. This proposed the guideline detail of airports and airlines responsibility whenever operating flight, including the commercial repatriation and the cargo flight, to ensure precautions are taken on ground or in flight. Okay, that's all the leadership characteristic that I would like to share with you guys. Asia have another leadership characteristic that you can find in any source such as internet and something else. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you. Stay safe at home.
Next, I will continue with the third content, which is comparison between Asian leadership practices with the Islamic perspective of leadership. It can be seen clearly that these two got a lot of similarities, but there's also a difference between these two. The similarities that can be pointed out is knowledge. It is because both of the leadership practices made it clear that they need to have a knowledgeable leader to make a great team. Second is sincerity. A Asian leader always sincere with his work and every statement they make. Thus, these things make them a better team with a better leadership, like what the Islamic perspective encourages us to. Third is dignity of labor. This is where all of the staff and the leader respect each other, work and treat each other with respect, so that everyone can have a great and warm workplace, so they will have a great outcome with their work. And lastly, I will talk about the difference. The only differences that I can point out is consultation. It is because from the Islamic perspective, they encourage that the leader to do some consultation with the team member or staff before giving any final decision. But for the Asian leadership practices, the leader tend to do an autocritic type of leadership. It is far from what the Islamic perspective practices encourage us. So that make Asian leadership and the Islamic perspective practices is a little bit different.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ahmad Baihaqi bin Rashidi, and my matrix number is 054893. Okay, for the conclusions, leadership is an essential part and a crucial component of an effective management. Without a great leadership, an organization can run smoothly and achieve a specific goals. However, in the era of 21st century, there are several aspects of leadership that is needed by the contemporary leaders, which is the leaders need to implement or need to practice a value-based leadership that give a priority to ethics and humanitarian principles. Therefore, a crisis that facing humanity, such as racism and discrimination between religion, can be solved. Further, the current leaders have another vital function, not only become a great leaders, but also need to be a role model for the upcoming generation. This can be done by thinking about the welfare of the people rather than only interested in pursuing monetary rewards. To conclude, this is the time where we need to change the nature of the leaderships by not putting the profits above all the people while solving the social problems. That's all from me. Thank you.